Hi, Grace again. And last video I talked about my healing moment, and right now it's coming to the point that started to share the good news of God heal me completely, deliver me from years of depression, anxiety, physical pain, and couldn't sleep. And so try I because it's so hard. It's too hard to believe. For my parents still not believer, and actually they still blame that I believe Jesus. So my daughter with special needs, and I have those hardships. But so I just go to the backyard and I pull the weeds out and duck down, stand up, back up, and do hard works, do the things that I couldn't do for years. And I'm still no pain, and I can do those things. My mom. Later, my mom told me that she lives with me. She lives with me to help me take care of my kids, and because of COVID, they cannot go back to China at that time. They have to stay in America with me, and she know how bad I was, how much pain I was suffering, and that yeah, the I take medications for depression, anxiety, and she knows everything. Actually, she shared a lot of tears as well, because I am her only child. And every time I tell her about Jesus or somebody else, and she has those questions, why God allow you like this? And of course, everybody's life is not easy, and I don't exactly know how much my mom went through of her life, but when I shared gospel with her the first time, I still remember what she told me. She said, "Yes, you should believe in Jesus because God loves you, but God doesn't love me." I know it's not true, but I didn't say anything because I really don't know what he went through that she still cannot get rid of. She still believe what made her believe that God doesn't love her, and then she has to accept that her first grandchildren has special needs, is a special of specials, and then her daughter lost physical health, mental health, and even went through all those years of education and be trained in the top university and then go abroad. They were so proud of me, but I ended up at home sick and broken and don't have any income or title. Yeah, it's so hard for her to went through and witness all those things. That day I told my mom that, but over the years she also wonder why after I have Catherine, she cannot say that I believe God only because God loves me because my life went through really well, and she lived with me, so she know that I'm not fake. I still love God dearly, love Jesus dearly. She couldn't understand. She couldn't really understand why, and yeah, she even say to me, said, "I know a lot of Christians, but no one like you. You believe too much, and you shouldn't. That's wrong." Uh, but I take it as a good thing, and so yeah, and so that day when I finally shared the news with my parents, it's too good to be true. They 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 have a very hard time to believe me. But my mom told me that she noticed that when I do the yard work on backyard, she was really nervous, and she thought, because she know I can do that. If I do that, I would be so painful. I couldn't even walk, and Yeah, but that day I didn't. So she started to curious. She think maybe she's right. And so for this, and my husband cannot believe me. He was a Christian actually even before I was a believer. He was believer, and but he never experienced this kind of thing. And what he was taught is those things that die with the first generation of Christians. So he said, no, you've said this many times, and each time you go back to your condition, your bad condition. This time, I really need to observe you. And but a day passed by, I'm still healed. Oh, and I threw all my medications, and even not just medications, even all those supplements. Yeah, I just get rid of those. I don't need those anymore. And the second day come by, I'm still healed. The third day, a week, 2 weeks, I'm still healed. And every day I become more and more happier. They're with me 24/7, so they know I couldn't hide, and I sleep so well, and I'm happy, and I'm no pain. I started to be able to jump a little bit, to jump and even run a little bit. And my mom come to me. He come to me and said, can I ask you something?" I said, "Yeah, sure." "What?" He said, um, "Right now it's COVID, so all the churches are locked down." I said, "Yes." "I want to get baptized as soon as possible. Can you baptize me in the bathtub?" "What? Am I here right? Is this my mom?" Because for 7 years, because of this Jesus, we couldn't. It's just our relationship was so broken. "You ask for baptist? Why?" And my mom said, "You're right. God does love me, and you're right. This God is not something you made up. It's real. He healed my daughter. It's impossible, but he did. It means he's real. I want to get baptized as soon as possible." "Okay." Nobody really taught me whether I'm qualified or not. I only see the pastors did this, so um, and yeah, maybe I will ask some pastors. And but in my mind, actually, what I thought is, I'm not sure, because her sister, my aunt, has already preached the gospel to her for almost 20 years. She never really persuaded. And for me, I'm her only daughter, and I know how mad she was at this Jesus. And so I don't know. I think maybe you change your mind. It's too, yeah, that's too good to be true. And like a week later, I don't remember exact time, but about a week later, my mom come to me again and said, "Did you ask? Can I get baptized? I don't mind if it's at church or if it's in the bathtub. Can you baptize me right now?" I started to know that my mom is serious because it didn't go. And then a week later, the third time, my mom called to me and said, "The church is still closed. Can you baptize me in the bathtub today?" Wow. Oh my goodness, thank God you're real. I almost gave up on my mom, but I'm sorry, Dad. I'm sorry, God, my Father in heaven. I think my mom is serious. And so then I contacted the church, the Chinese church, and thank God they arranged. So my mom and dad, they got baptized on the same day at church by pastor. And yeah, a side note. Later, I did learn that I am qualified. I can baptize her in the bathtub, and But on the stage, um, each one be asking to give 5 minutes testimonies of how you know God. Oh, and just to my surprise, my parents they stand on the stage and read their testimonies, and they both in public said, because of my daughter's special condition, they started to open their heart to this gospel in different ways, but they started to open their heart. And if you heard my story, my previous stories, you know that when my daughter was first diagnosed, I asked God why, and he said it's not because of anybody's sin, but to glorify God. And I asked how, and he told me that my family members, my relatives, my friends, and even strangers would benefit from from my daughter's special condition. And I did told God, I said, if only if one person can be saved, can know God because of my daughter's condition, then even though all her life she suffered, I suffered, it's totally worth it. And I cannot believe there are both my parents are saved because their heart opened it because of my daughter's special condition. God is so good. He's so good. So thankful.